Throughout history, there have been many haunting tales from the past that are retold to this day. A few months ago, I made a video on presidential conspiracy theories. It was well received, and you all recommended I make a second part, as there are plenty more out there. Then I decided to branch out a little bit, maybe cover not just presidential history, but all of history. And after that, I decided to get even more detailed and research some scary stories and horror tales that have been told throughout history. This video is a little shorter than my normal videos, and that is because this is an experimental video. I may make this a series, I may not, we'll have to see how it goes. Today, we'll be looking over the spirits of old and long-gone presidents who may still be in the White House. By the year 1900, President Abraham Lincoln's tomb was in need of major reconstructions. Over a 15-month period, the tomb had been rebuilt from the bottom up. By 1901, a new monument was complete and the coffin was reinterred. It was time to move the body. Some of the observers believed that opening the coffin would be disrespectful, while others believed that the remains should be identified, as there were persistent rumors that Lincoln's body was not even there. A decision was made to put those rumors to rest and open the coffin. When the casket was opened, a harsh, choking smell arose. 23 people slowly walked forward and peered down. Mr. Lincoln's features were totally recognizable. His face had a melancholy expression, but his black chin whiskers hadn't changed at all. The wart on his cheek and the coarse black hair were obvious characteristics of Mr. Lincoln. The biggest change was that the eyebrows had vanished. The president was wearing the same suit he wore at his second inauguration, but it had been covered with yellow mold. There were also remnants of an American flag that had been buried with Mr. Lincoln. The people who observed the former president were shocked about how well his body was maintained over 40 years later. Besides his eyebrows, he looked perfectly fine, like he could be alive. This is allegedly a photo taken of Lincoln when the coffin was opened, but it cannot be confirmed true. All 23 people who observed the body died before 1966 and were the last to see President Lincoln. Speaking of Lincoln and the presidents, there are many rumors and stories that their spirits occupy the White House to this very day. In 1862, Mary Todd Lincoln began to practice spiritualism and participate in spirit circles in the Red Room at the White House after the loss of her son, Willie. It was after that the ghost sightings would be reported scarcely throughout time. Here are the different ghost sightings over the years and where they are located. Andrew Jackson has reportedly been seen lying in his old bed in the Rose Room, and Mary Todd Lincoln claimed to have heard him stomping and laughing. Thomas Jefferson's ghost has been reported to play the violin in the Yellow Oval Room, and John Tyler reportedly haunts the Blue Room, where he can be seen proposing to Julia Gardner, his second wife. William Henry Harrison, who was the first president to die in the White House, reportedly haunts the attic, and an unnamed British soldier who perished in the War of 1812 roams the White House grounds holding a torch. These spirits have been reported throughout the history of the White House. Eleanor Roosevelt claimed to feel Lincoln's presence, and Theodore Roosevelt claimed to have seen Lincoln's ghost on some occasions. Former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill claimed that he climbed out of a bath one time nude and started walking to his bedroom. He was startled to see Abraham Lincoln standing by the fireplace in the room, leaning on the mantel. Churchill, always quick on the uptake, simply took his cigar out of his mouth, tapped the ash off the end, and said, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage." Lincoln smiled softly as if laughing, and disappeared. Churchill smiled in embarrassment and went on with his day. The last reported sighting of Lincoln's ghost was in the early 1980s when Tony Savoy, White House operations foreman, came into the White House and saw Lincoln sitting in a chair at the top of some stairs. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this. I know this was more of a shorter video than what I usually produce, but I did want to get something out there, and if you did enjoy this type of ghost telling of the historical past, then comment down below and I may consider making more videos like this. But I promise in the maybe not next week, but next week or the week after, I will have another video up. And as always, I'll see you on the flip side.
Because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
Motherfucking boss.